I accept other people's thoughts because I'm afraid of my own. I've noticed something about myself, and maybe you've noticed it too. I often catch my mind repeating things I've heard from others. Opinions, fears, judgments, expectations. And sometimes I realize these thoughts didn't come from my own heart. They came from someone else, and I simply let them in. Why do I do that? Why do I allow other people's ideas to shape the way I see myself, the world, and even God? Why do their voices sound louder than my own? The truth is simple, but uncomfortable. I accept other people's thoughts because I'm afraid of my own. My own thoughts feel uncertain. They feel fragile, unfinished, not strong enough to stand on their own. So I reach for what sounds confident, loud, and already formed. I borrow someone else's clarity because I'm afraid of facing my own confusion. When I don't trust myself, I start living through other people's minds. I let their fears become my fears. I let their expectations become my goals. I let their judgments become my conscience. And slowly, without noticing, I lose the ability to hear what is truly mine. I've realized that this happens most often when my heart is restless. When I'm anxious, insecure, or overwhelmed, I look for something external to hold on to. A strong opinion, a loud voice, a ready-made answer. Anything that saves me from the discomfort of thinking for myself. But living this way has a cost. When I rely too much on other people's thoughts, I stop growing. I stop listening to the quiet places inside me. I stop asking honest questions. I stop searching for truth. Other people's thoughts can be helpful, wise, or inspiring, but they can't replace my own. They can't tell me who I am. They can't decide what I believe. They can't walk my spiritual path for me. There comes a moment when I have to ask myself, is this really what I think? Or is this just what I've heard so many times that I started repeating it? Is this my conviction? Or is it just a comfortable echo? Is this my fear? Or did I inherit it from someone else? Is this my desire? Or is it something I absorbed from the world around me? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Because spiritual life begins with honesty. It begins with the courage to face my own thoughts, even the messy ones, even the unfinished ones, even the ones I don't fully understand yet. I've learned that my own thoughts don't become clear until I give them space. Space without noise. Space without comparison. Space without fear. Silence is where my real thoughts begin to speak. Not the borrowed ones, not the loud ones, not the ones I repeat out of habit, but the ones that come from the deepest part of me. And when I finally hear them, I realize something important. My thoughts were never weak. They were simply drowned out by everything I allowed to speak louder. I don't want to live by other people's thoughts anymore. I don't want to let their fears shape my choices. I don't want their expectations to define my path. I don't want their voices to replace my conscience. I want to think honestly. I want to listen deeply. I want to hear the quiet truth inside me. I want to live with clarity that comes from within, not from outside. And I know this requires courage. Courage to sit with my own uncertainty. Courage to question what I've always repeated. Courage to let go of borrowed convictions. Courage to trust that God speaks in the silence of my own heart. I'm learning to do that. Slowly, patiently, honestly. I'm learning to separate what is truly mine from what I've absorbed. I'm learning to recognize when I'm repeating something just because it feels safe. I'm learning to listen to the quiet voice inside me, the one I ignored for so long. And the more I listen, the more I understand. I don't need other people's thoughts to live my life. I don't need their noise to feel secure. I don't need their certainty to find truth. I need honesty. I need silence. I need courage. I need God. And when I begin to live from that place, I finally stop being afraid of my own thoughts. I stop running from them. I stop hiding behind other people's voices. I stop borrowing ideas that don't belong to me. I begin to think. I begin to understand. I begin to grow. I begin to live. Not through someone else's mind, but through my own heart.